Hi, Coach.
Hello.
We'll get started. Adam Spolin.
Hey, Stephen. With how the last couple of months have gone, do you notice like a difference in just the energy when you have a practice like today?
Yeah, definitely. Any practice that you have after a win, especially a good win, is going to be spirited, and the guys are going to be more locked in to all aspects of it, whether it's the film, whether it's just like the stretching and getting their bodies loose, whether it's the actual drills that we do, or them getting shots up after. You see a few more guys out there getting shots up afterwards. They're getting a few more shots up than they might have after a loss. And, it's just much more spirited after a game like we had last night. But it's always good to get a practice in and see the carryover from the practices that we have to the games, even though they're very, very limited.
The last two wins that you had were the second game of a back to back, so you didn't like reconvene that next day. Does that make it now a little bit easier to maybe carry over to the next game that you were able to get together the day after that win?
Yeah, so you're saying that the last, not including last night?
Yeah, so the Minnesota and Toronto were the second night of a back to back, so you guys were off the next day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's well, I guess we lost the first game of both back to backs, and we do have competitive spirit and fight and all of those things. And the second night of a back to back, you kind of just have to rely on your competitiveness. You have to fight through a lot of different things, and um, you know, for us, it's just like play better if we lost the first game of the back to back. So um, yeah, I don't know if I even answered your question, but yeah, our focus is to always, if we don't do things correctly, to fix those quickly as possible. And I think you see that in those back to back situations.
Christos Saltis.
Hello, coach. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I would like to ask you, Christian Wood was back, John Wall was back, almost the full roster was there last night. How good for you was that situation, and what would you like to maintain from last night's game?
Yeah, it's good to have our guys back for sure. Um, we haven't had it all season, and we still don't have it. We didn't have House last night. We didn't have Eric Gordon last night. Of the guys who are coming back, notwithstanding like Nawabu's out for the season, but um, yeah, when we have our full complement of players or close, we have something to build from, and we're not kind of just searching for different combinations that work and different lineups and all of those things. Last night was, I don't even know what number we're on, maybe like 33rd starting lineup of the season. So yeah, to have those guys back and healthy makes it good for everybody. And then what we want to draw from last night is the defensive mindset that we had, the adaptability that we had as far as changing defenses, and the spirit that I think everybody who watched the game saw the spirit of the group, especially down the stretch when we knew that the game was at hand and the guys were having fun and enjoying the win.
Cody Davis.
Hey, Coach. With the success that you are now having with the pairing of Christian Wood and Kelly Olynyk, what has been the difference between that pairing versus when you had guys like DeMarcus Cousins and Justin Patton here?
Yeah, I think the versatility of both Christian and Kelly, to where we could put them on in different places on the floor. They can guard multiple positions, and they both are natural kind of movers for lack of a better term, on the offensive end. They are quick to the next action. If they roll, they respace. If they run down to the corner, then they're running right back up to a step-up screen and can roll again. And their ability to kind of create action with their movement and their versatility makes them a good pairing. And they're just learning. Like, it's going to take probably the rest of the season for us to really get a feel for what they can do together. But so far, so good.
Jonathan Fagan.
What was your reaction when you learned of DeMarcus going to the Clippers, and what do you think of the fit for him there?
I was happy for him, first of all. He deserves another chance to be on a good team and to hopefully contribute for their playoff run and all of those things. So I was definitely happy, and he provides a lot. Like, he's a big body who can make threes. He can defend bigger guys in the post. So if you take teams that have, post up bigs or big physical bigs, he can defend them. So I'm definitely happy for Cuz to be able to go to a high level team like the Clippers.
By the way, it's 34 starting lineups, but I think that's it. Stopping right there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We'll see.
Well, maybe we'll see Saturday back to back.
I know. So 34 out of how many games?
51.
51. Yeah, 51.
It's some sort of record, I'm going to assume. I don't know if anybody keeps that record, but
I would think so. Based on a 72 game season, the percentage is probably, yeah, we're getting there.
thank you.
Brian Bearfield.
Coach, this would be a third team that you all are playing against that are in playoff contention, but you also have some consistency in your rotation. Now, do you think that this helps build character with your team?
Yeah, I never really thought character was an issue with our group. Maybe chemistry and togetherness and all of that. I think we're a high character team as far as trying to do things the right way and helping your teammate play well and all of those things. It'd be a much harder group to coach if we didn't have character. But yeah, we're starting to come together. I think you see maybe the character that you're talking about manifests itself in the last few games as far as the grinded out mentality that we've had and the rising to the occasion of playing really good teams. I mean, Phoenix is really good, and you see the Utah Phoenix game last night was a high level basketball game, and we were right there with Phoenix. And then last night with Dallas coming in on a 5-game winning streak and us kind of showing that we can play and winning that game does show that we have a good amount of character in our group.
Adam Spolin.
With John moving forward, are you almost just going to play it the way, if he tells you he feels good, you can let him go a little bit longer in these games?
As far as the minutes?
Yes.
Yes and no. I mean, I'm not going to play him crazy minutes, even if he says he can go, because that sometimes you have to protect him from himself. But we're going to be very cautious with John because, like I said, we don't want him to have to continue to have these injuries because of wear and use and all of usage and all of these things. So we're going to be definitely very careful with him as we move forward because he is coming back from 2 years of major injuries, and For us, we have 20 some odd games left, and it really wouldn't make sense to like try to just push them through for the lack of pushing through. For the sake of pushing through. We want to be smart about it.
We'll take two more. Kaylee Griffin.
Hey, Coach, we just talked to Avery Bradley, and you've used him in a number of different ways to start since he's gotten here. Obviously, he was starting against Phoenix with Devin Booker. Last night, he came off the bench for 12 minutes. He's someone who played with the Lakers last season, started with Miami. But since coming here, he's talked about how he's really embraced this team, this organization, being part of this group and helping this young core grow and develop. How beneficial is that for you to have a player like Avery, who's been in a lot of championship experiences with teams like he's been on, who really embraces being here?
Yeah, it's huge. He is a professional. It's you have those guys who are kind of like that, like the things that you were describing, and sometimes they're not able to actually really play, and he can go out there and really defend. His on-ball defense is good, and his spot-up threes are good, and we can play him on primary guys like you saw when he had Booker, and last night he guarded Luka some, and he is all about the group and all about the team, and to have a veteran guy, especially kind of with the season that we've had, to have someone who's that bought in is a good feeling for not just me, but I think it is for the locker room, for everybody in the locker room, to know that we have a steady guy like Avery, and we have some steady guys in that locker room with the new guys that we have, whether it's Avery or Kelly or both DJs.
And last question, Cody Davis.
Hey, Coach, speaking of DeMarcus Cousins, how much did you appreciate his leadership when he was here, especially during the time, he was here when the team was in transition, especially when he was serving as somewhat of a mentor to the younger guys like Christian Wood and Jayshawn Tate?
Yeah, Cousins is good for everybody. The role that Cuz had was a hard role, right? And there were games where it'd be harder to play him, and then there would be games where he would be playing well, and Christian was the starter, and Cuz was the backup. And there were just times where it was a little bit difficult for him because of that. And I totally understood that, and he handled it well. The conversations that we had with each other were productive, and I would tell him kind of where he stands, and he would always be like, I got you, I understand. And the leadership part of it is kind of handling that situation, right? Like leading by example, and not getting down about the circumstance, because he was at times playing at a high level, and he was still the backup, and then he became a starter. And when Christian went down and we were losing and it was hard and all of those things, but he stayed professional all the way through, and I'm appreciative of that from him.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.